Welcome back to my channel. I am back with another review, so if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so that you know every time I upload a new video. Thank you so much to everybody who has subscribed to my channel. I appreciate you all, and let's just get right into this review. So at the very beginning of this episode, Amara ends up popping up on Marlon while he's working, and when she gets there, she shows up with a Dominican cake for him because when he showed up to her job a few episodes ago, he brought her a slice of Haitian cake to try, so she just wanted to return the favor. Now, when she shows up, Flo's mother is actually working behind the counter that day, and Flo's mother was actually really nice to Amara. I don't know if it's because she just is a nice person or if she just did not know that Amara is beefing with her daughter, but she was nice to her and even told her where Marlon was. So Amara and Marlon end up having a conversation about what went down in last week's episode when Marlon tried to work things out with Flo, and he told Amara that things did not go well and that they're gonna go through with the divorce. Now, to me, the reason why things didn't go well was because he was being very manipulative when he came to Flo. He showed up with flowers and he showed up with an old picture of them where they looked like they were happy and in love, and it just looked like he was trying to manipulate her. He was trying to make her remember the good old times that they had together, but she wasn't falling for it because even though they may have been in love in the past, right now he's done a lot of things to ruin their relationship, and now she doesn't trust him and she doesn't want to be with him anymore. And during this conversation, Amara is trying to get Marlon to continue to fight for his family, but I think she's wrong about that. I mean, we don't know if their storyline is even true. We don't know if he's really cheated on Flo and if they're really getting a divorce, or if they're actually really happy together and he hasn't cheated on her and this is all just for a storyline. But if it is true, the things that they show on the show, then I feel like they shouldn't be together and they should get a divorce. However, I don't believe that they're gonna get a divorce. I'll believe it when I see it because they've been saying that they're not together and they're separated and they're getting a divorce for a long time and they haven't gone through with it yet. And then on top of that, every time Marlon is talking to another woman, Flo gets upset about it, like in this episode. So it makes me wonder if they're actually gonna get a divorce. Now, this whole situation between Marlon and Flo has Amara really thinking about her own situation with Alan because they have 2 children together, and last season they got into a huge blowout fight where it even turned physical and a lot of hurtful things were said, and now Amara is feeling like it was a mistake the way that they behaved towards each other in the DR, and she really wants her children to have their father in their life because she didn't have her father in her life when she was growing up, and she just wants better for her daughter. Now, I think that they should try to co-parent with each other effectively for their children and for themselves because nobody needs to deal with all the stress of going back and forth continuously. So I do think that it would be a good idea for Amara and Alan to have a conversation. However, I hope it's just for the children and it's not for them to try to rekindle things with each other, because a lot of the things that he said to Amara last season are unforgivable. Like, those are things that she should never be cool with, and those are things that she should never accept from him. So I feel like she shouldn't try to rekindle things with him. But if they are going to meet up in this episode to just talk about how they can co-parent for their children, then I think that's a good idea. Now, Angela is in the studio with her boyfriend Derek, and he's trying to get her back into music again because she had a few songs out before that he says were very popular, and he just wants that to be a thing again for her. So he starts talking to Angela about making a song, and she agreed that she would make a song, but she wanted it to be feel-good music and she wanted it to be positive and not the negative stuff that she used to do in the past. But he wants her to do the song as Black China because he feels like it'll sell better to her fans, but she really does not want to do that. Now, he claims that he will compromise with her, but it doesn't really seem like that's what he wants to do. I feel like he's going to try to make her make a song that she doesn't want to make, because she said that she wanted to make a song that aligns with who she is now and not who she was in the past. And I think that she's doing the right thing, and I really hope that he would respect what she wants to do and not try to push her into something that no longer aligns with her, but that's what it seems like he's trying to do. So because Estelita and Zoe's friend Kiki ended up getting into it in last week's episode, Estelita decided to pop up on Zoe at her video shoot and let her know everything that went down between her and Kiki. Estelita tells Zoe that the reason why she asked Kiki to meet up is because she wanted to know why she made a scene at Zoe's dress fitting and kind of ruined it for Zoe, and basically she didn't like Kiki's answers and the two of them ended up having a back and forth. Estelita also told Zoe that Kiki was saying that basically Zoe was cheating on Calvin with a woman, and she brought it up at the dress fitting because she felt like, Zoe was making a mistake with trying to marry Calvin. And look, even if Kiki did think that Calvin was not the right person for, Zoe, I don't think that that was the time or the place for her to say those things. And then especially in front of everybody telling her business, because if Zoe really did tell Kiki that she was messing around with a woman behind behind Calvin's back, why would she put that out there for everybody to know? Like, to me, it was just shady. And Zoe gets really upset because she doesn't understand why Kiki is going around telling her business to everybody and trying to smear her name when she's trying to work things out with Calvin. She feels like Kiki is clout chasing and that Kiki used her for a come up. And so she's really upset about this. So she ends up getting in her car after the video shoot and she goes live and drives to Kiki's house and she's yelling for Kiki to come outside because she wants to fight her, and Kiki never ended up coming out. Now, although I can understand why Zoe is so upset, I don't think that she should be reacting this way. I mean, she's risking her own career to go after somebody who's probably just clout chasing off of her, and I feel like she's giving Kiki a little bit too much attention. And Zoe's fiance Calvin said the same thing when him and Zoe ended up going out to dinner in this episode. He wanted to know why she went live trying to fight with Kiki, and she told him the truth. She said that when they were at the dress fitting, Kiki told everybody that she should mess with this woman who wants to be with her, and Calvin did ask her if she was talking to another woman behind his back, and she said no, which she's probably lying about that because where did Kiki get this information from? Zoe had to have told her that there was a woman that was interested in her, so I feel like she should have been honest about that if she wasn't telling the truth, because I don't know if she was or not. However, she did tell him the truth about the situation. But because Calvin doesn't want Zoe to mess up her reputation with producers and record labels, he told her that she needs to try to have a conversation with Kiki without things getting physical and not live on social media for everybody to see. So she agrees to set up a meetup with Kiki, although I don't think things are gonna go well. I'm sorry, but I do not like Flos sister Gael. I don't know if she just acts this way for the show and for a storyline and this is not really who she is, or if this is who she is. But if she's just doing this for a storyline, she does a really good job of making people not like her, because I am not feeling her at all. But in this episode, she says that she gets a text message from Alan, who is the father of Amara's 2 children, asking her to meet up so that they can talk. Now, the two of them are very flirtatious with each other, and there's a lot of sexual energy between the two of them because they claim that they messed around with each other last season after the trip to the DR. And so they're being very flirty with each other, and then he starts asking her if Safari and Amara are trying to get married, because last season he saw them get engaged in the DR, but she let him know that nothing's happening between the two of them and that Amara and Safari are no longer together, which he seemed to be happy about. And I don't think it's because he wants Amara. I just think he wants her to be single and lonely. That's just what it's giving. But Gael tries to be messy and she starts talking shit about Amara to him, saying that Amara is a husband stealer, and he immediately cuts her off when she says this because he said that he's trying to turn over a new leaf with Amara and that he wants to be able to see his children, so he's trying to take a different approach when it comes to this whole Amara situation. And so Gael stops talking bad about Amara. Now, I don't believe that, he really cares if somebody says something bad about Amara. I just feel like he's using this as a way to clear up his image from last season, because some of the things that came out of his mouth when it came to Amara was really disrespectful, and a lot of people were coming for him on social media because of the things that came out of his mouth. And so I feel like he's trying to change his image up and make it seem like he's a good guy and he's apologetic to Amara and he just wants things to work out with them and their children. So to me, he's being fake. But if he wants to try to work things out with Amara so that they can effectively co-parent, I'm all for that happening. But all Gael cares about is being able to sleep with Alan in this episode. She starts talking about threesomes that they can have and all the freaky stuff that she's into, and he seems very interested, but he said that before anything can happen between him and Gael, he has to talk to Amara first and try to work things out, which means that he's just trying to get Amara out of the way so that they can be in a good place. That way he can be messy and do whatever he wants to do with Gael. And see, this is why I feel like Alan is being fake, because if he was really sorry for the things that he said about Amara in the DR last season, like saying nobody wants your black ass to her and talking about the way that she looks and stuff, to me, I feel like he would have apologized to her off camera and not waited until the cameras came on to say that he was sorry to her. Now, maybe he did apologize off camera and they just wanted to put it on the show, and so they made them record this scene. But to me, it just seems very insincere. But because it's about the kids, that's the reason why Amara is having this conversation with him. Now, he does apologize to her for the things that he said and did when they were in the DR, and she accepts his apology, and she also apologizes to him for hitting him in the DR because she definitely crossed the line putting her hands on him. And I just feel like both of them are toxic and they shouldn't be together, and I think they know that they shouldn't be together, but they're claiming that the reason why they're having this conversation is to be able to effectively co-parent with their children. Now, he starts trying to kiss Amara's ass, trying to be on her good side, telling her that he thinks thanks her for being a great mother to their children, which I'm sure she is a great mother to their children. I mean, she's raising them without his help, so he should be praising her for that, but he should be also doing his part. Now, she ends up asking him how often he plans on coming to see their children, and he said that it's up to her. Now, she left the door completely open and said that he can come whenever he wants. And although she's being very cordial with him at this meetup, she did say in her confessional that she knows that actions speak louder than words. So he's saying all the right things, but she wants to see if he puts action behind it. And honestly, because these are two small little girls, I hope he actually does what he says he's going to do as well. So Joy ends up showing up to this restaurant to meet with the woman Unique, who's been seeing Trick recently, and Joy is confused as to why she's there to talk about Trick, because even though the two of them are legally married, the two of them are not really on good terms and they didn't really have the best relationship with each other, so she's really confused as to why Unique invited her out for drinks. Now, Unique was very friendly with Joy, and Joy was actually really friendly with her too, because Joy said that she's completely over Trick and she doesn't want to be with him anymore, and even though they're still legally married, that doesn't mean that she cares what he does. But Unique felt like she needed to let Joy know that her and Trick are a thing because they're still legally married, and she didn't want Joy to be blindsided, even though Joy reassured her that she doesn't care about anything that Trick does or anybody that he's seeing. Now, even though the conversation was friendly, I did think that it was a little bit weird that Unique was asking Joy how she got Trick to fall in love with her, because I just think that's a weird question to ask somebody, and Joy really didn't have any answers for Unique, because at the end of the day, her relationship with Trick was not a good one, and so she can't really give this girl any advice on how to deal with Trick, to be honest with you. And Unique seems to think that her relationship with Trick is going to be good and things are going to be different between the two of them, so Joy gave all the power to her and told her that if she wants to try to help Trick and work things out with him, she can do that all on her own. And she got up and she left the restaurant. And things are already bad between Unique and Trick, because the two of them ended up meeting up at the strip club and everything was going good at first, until Unique told him that she ended up having a meetup with Joy. Now, she did lie a little bit, because she told him that she met up with Joy to get some, advice on being in a relationship with him. And that really wasn't what it was, because Joy didn't give her any advice at all. All she said was that Trick is kind of controlling, and that's really what she said. That's all she said. So I feel like she's kind of lying a little bit, because Joy really didn't give her any advice. But Trick got so mad that she mentioned Joy's name that he gets up and leaves. So I don't even think things are going to work out between Trick and this woman Unique. So Angela is in the studio with Derek and another woman, because he wrote a song for them to record with each other, and he really thinks that it's going to be a good song. So Angela starts doing her verse of the song, and she ends up stopping in the middle of it because the word bitch is included in there, and she said that because that doesn't align with who she is now, she really doesn't want to use that word in the song, because she wants the song to be positive and align with who she is now, not who she was in the past. Now, she wanted to switch it with the word chick, but Derek wasn't really feeling it, and she tried to use the word trick, and he said that it didn't sound right, so he wants her to do the song the way that he wrote it. Now, at this point, she's saying that she wants to do a completely different song that is not about what this song is supposed to be about, but he feels like this song will be a bop and it'll really put her on the map when it comes to music, and they're just not really seeing eye to eye. And I don't think that, Angela is wrong for what she's saying. He wants her to be Black China, and she wants to just be Angela, and I feel like, him and this other woman that was in the studio with them were really trying to push her to be somebody that she doesn't want to be anymore. And it's like, she really needs to reevaluate the people that she has around her, because they're going to push her back into where she was before, and that wasn't a good place to be. She said it herself that she was not happy when she was that way. So for her to try to change, and she did so much work to change her image, and them try to bring her back to that, to me, is crazy. Now, Flo ends up going to have a conversation with her mother, and her mom tells her about a woman coming to see Marlon a few days prior, and she says that the woman had a blonde wig on and she showed up with a Dominican cake. So Flo ends up looking at the security footage, and she sees that Amara and Marlon were sitting down outside having a conversation, and so she's thinking that something is going on between the two of them, and that they're being physical with each other, and that Amara is doing it to get back at her. And Flo gets even more pissed off when she sees the video of Marlon and her mother eating the Dominican cake that Amara brought to them, and she starts yelling, going off about how Amara probably did Santeria on the cake to make Marlon want her, and that she doesn't think that it was a good idea for her mother and Marlon to eat the cake. I don't know why she's spreading these rumors about Amara doing Santeria, because she didn't like it when people were saying that she was doing voodoo last season, so I don't know why she's saying that about Amara. But she starts going off and she gets really pissed off and mad. And look, I can understand why she would be upset about this on behalf behalf of Marlon, because at the end of the day, Marlon is the one who owes her something. And so for him to even be entertaining Amara, even in a friendship type of way, does seem like a betrayal to Flo, because at the end of the day, her and Amara are beefing with each other. But at the same time, it makes me wonder if the two of them are still together and they're not actually getting a divorce, because her being so upset about him paying attention to another woman is weird to me if she doesn't want him and they're getting a divorce. And I mean, Flo's sister Gael said the same thing to Flo, because she ends up bringing the cake to where Gael is, and she starts yelling about the situation of Marlon and, Amara hanging around each other. And Gael is confused as to why Flo cares, because at the end of the day, she's saying that she doesn't want Marlon, and she's saying that, it makes Amara look bad because Marlon's not a good guy. So if she's entertaining him, then she looks stupid, which she does look stupid, but there's nothing going on between the two of them. Amara admitted that the only reason why she was entertaining Marlon was to get back at Flo for going after Safari and throwing a drink in her face, and so nothing is going on between the two of them. But Flo is blaming Gael for why Amara is doing what she's doing with Marlon, because she feels like Amara is trying to get back at her for Gael sleeping with Alan. But I personally don't think that's the reason why she's doing what she's doing with Marlon. She already said that it was because of Flo throwing the drink in her face and being very flirtatious with Safari while they were together. She said that's the reason why. I think she has a separate issue with Gael that she'll probably deal with at some point during this season, but I don't feel like that's the reason why. However, I do understand why Flo is upset with Marlon about this situation, because at the end of the day, if Flo and Amara don't get along with each other and they almost fought each other, Marlon being her husband and entertaining this woman, to me, is a betrayal, because like she said, Amara is using Marlon to play in Flo's face. But at the end of the day, if Marlon's allowing it to happen, then he's allowing it to happen. I feel like she's taking more of it out on Amara than she is on Marlon. However, it makes me wonder if they're actually getting a divorce, because the way she got so upset about it made me feel like they're still together. Now, at the very end of this episode, Zoey ends up meeting up with Kiki to find out why she was talking about her to Estelita. And I think that Estelita kind of exaggerated what happened between the two of them. Now, I know that they edit episodes, so we don't get to see the whole conversation. But it looked like the conversation was very short and that they really didn't get into much of a conversation, because all they did was argue with each other. But I can understand why Zoey's upset, because she was friends with Kiki. She thought that Kiki was her friend. She helped her out to help her get some money. And obviously, she's on the show because of Zoey, so I can understand why Zoey's upset with Kiki. However, this is why you can't trust somebody so quickly, because she said that, they didn't even really know each other before they became friends with one another. And so you have to be careful who you consider a friend and who you start telling your business to. But they end up getting really heated really quickly. Like, they barely even get to have a conversation, because Kiki immediately ends up asking Zoey why she showed up to her mother's house trying to fight her. And Zoey said that, Kiki was scary and she didn't come outside. So the two of them basically were getting ready to fight with each other. Well, Kiki looked like she was running from Zoey a little bit. It looked like she did not want to fight Zoey, and security was all over Zoey, making sure that she didn't get anywhere near of Kiki. So nothing really happened when it came to this conversation. They're still beefing with each other. Nothing was squashed, and I don't think that it will be. I do think that Kiki's messy, but Zoey's giving her a little bit too much attention. So those are my thoughts on this week's episode of Love and Hip Hop Miami. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode down in the comment section. Don't forget to hit that like button for me. I appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos and hit the notification bell so you know every time I upload a new video. Thank you so much to everybody who has subscribed to my channel. I appreciate you all, and until next time, I will talk to you in my next video.